I want to talk today about home defense firearms. A lot of people will reach out to me and they'll say, I want a gun strictly for home defense. I'm not looking for a concealed carry handgun. I just want a firearm to defend my family in my home. And I want to go with a rifle or a shotgun. Maybe they don't have comfort with a handgun. Maybe they have no experience. Maybe this person has hunted to some degree, so they have a little more comfort with a rifle or a shotgun. That's not a problem. We're going to talk about that today, the advantages and disadvantages of the rifle and shotgun. And I sort of have one that I'm going to sort of lean towards if it were me and it was my only gun for home protection. Now, that being said, if you live in an apartment complex or condominium, and right next to me is this wall, and right behind that wall is a neighbor, you need to really put some thought into using a firearm in a self-defense situation, because you could shoot at an attacker, someone that you believe has broken into your house, you fear for your life, and you believe you have no other option but defend yourself, and you fire, and you could hit that wall and hit what's behind it, and that could be a person. That could be someone's child sleeping. So you need to put those things into context. So if you live in an apartment or a condominium right on top of somebody, a firearm might not be the best option. We might want to look at non-lethal options, and I will in another video. But today I want to talk about rifles and shotguns and the benefit of those in a home defense situation. So a lot of people love AR rifles right now. That is the hot rifle without a doubt, and it is a military style looking rifle. When I get my AR rifle out, and I'm going to grab it right here, it's a Smith & Wesson Sport 2 223-556, no magazine. It is safe. I'm still going to point it in a safe direction. A lot of people, when they look at this, and when my wife looks at it, the first thing she says is that is a really mean looking rifle. Well, the reality is this, is that it's a black rifle. It's got a lot of metal. It's got a lot of plastic. This is a version of one that was used first primarily in Vietnam. A lot of the soldiers did not like it, but those could be fully automatic. This is a semi-automatic rifle, so it only fires when I press the trigger. So this is no different than a Ruger 1022. The only difference is the chambering of it. Or sometimes, you have different rifles that are chambered in different calibers, and they're semi-automatic rifles. So this is a semi-automatic rifle, and it's 223 and 556. What do I like about it? Well, first of all, for me, it's really accurate. I've had a lot of formal training on it, so I feel very comfortable with it. If I had to use it in a self-defense situation, I could do that without a doubt. The problem with these rifles, as effective as they can be in a self-defense situation, is a lot of people will go out and they'll buy one, but they have never been formally trained on using AR rifles. So they think they know. They went on YouTube, and of course this video is going to be on YouTube, but I always tell people a video's a nice first step to get a basic idea of what you need to do for training, but you need to have some hands-on training with a professional in order to be safe with the firearm you have and be effective, God forbid, if you had to use it in a self-defense situation. So, my AR rifle is very basic. I've got iron sights. I like iron sights as a rule. A lot of people go with the optics right now, the red dots, those type of things, and that's fine. Once again, a lot of people will get those. It's the latest and greatest craze, but they won't train with it, and that becomes a problem. So any firearm you have, no matter if it's an AR rifle or if, if it's a shotgun or a pistol, it's only as good as the training you have put in, and you want to train with it on a consistent basis. A lot of people will buy a rifle like this and they'll never shoot it, or maybe they go out and shoot it one time and they throw it in the gun safe and they think they're ready for Armageddon. The reality is this, that if you have a rifle like this or any rifle that you're using for self-defense, you need to get out and train with it at least 6 times a year and get some formal training so you understand how the weapon operates and how it works. Now, of course, this one is going to have a magazine. I've got several magazines. I've tested my magazines to make sure that they work properly, that they feed the rounds properly. I've used different types of ammo in here. I'm sure that I have the right ammo for it. I understand how to clean this weapon as well. The reason why I wouldn't be, so fast to use it, especially if you've not had a lot of training on it in a home defense situation, is that a lot of people might start spraying rounds all through the house. And once again, you have an issue with, over penetration, your child's in the next room, these types of scenarios. So what I will tell you is this: if you have family members in your house, you need to have a talk with them about a safety plan, a way to prevent someone from getting in. But what are we going to do if they do get inside? How am I going to protect my family and myself? Those types of things. And that's something you need to talk to them about and make sure they understand that it's not a reason to panic, but it's a reason to practice and be safe. So something to keep in mind. So for me, the AR rifle is a very effective weapon. And a lot of people really know how to use it. A lot of people with military and police service that have been certified and trained in this weapon, and they practice. It becomes second nature for them. And so I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking about the people that have gone out and bought an AR rifle and have not practiced with it. They have no idea how to use it. That can be an issue for safety for you and your family in the home in a self-defense situation. Now, another thing is that AR rifles, a good one, a reliable one, they're expensive. You'll drive by a lot of gun shops and it'll say AR rifle $399. It's a brand that I probably never heard. It might run really well, but what I would tell you is this: if you're going to buy an AR rifle, check some reviews, talk to some people that know. Here's the names I would go with: Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Springfield. Those are some good basic ones to go with. They have a good track record, and also they have a very good warranty. So AR rifle could be used for home defense, has been used for home defense, but if you're not trained on it, if you're not proficient with it, might not be the thing you want to grab in the middle of the night when someone's trying to kick your door in. So I'm gonna put this down for right now. The one that I think has a lot of merit, and I think that it is a very effective weapon. I think it's one that most people can afford and most people can be trained on to understand how to use it. And they can also use it as a hunting tool if they want to or they need to. Not to say you can't hunt with that AR-15, but as a rule, what I tell people, a very practical self-defense weapon in the home that is highly effective is going to be a shotgun of some type. Now this is a pump Remington 870. This is my personal shotgun. We're clear here. Nothing in there. We're clear, and it's chambered in 20 gauge. So a lot of people say, why a 20 gauge, why not a 12? Inside of a home, at the ranges of self-defense, let's say the most in your home, a hallway, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet across a room, 20 feet, 25 feet, a 20 gauge is going to have all the power you need and then some. To put things into some type of perspective, a 20 gauge has double the power of a 44 Magnum. And the thing that I like about the 20 gauge is that I can shoot it, my son can shoot it, my wife can shoot it. They can all use this to defend themselves, and they've all been trained on it. So that's a big part of it as well. We all can use it. And my wife might need to use this to protect me or, our son or herself. Now, the thing that I also recommend, and I've got one on here, is a good recoil pad, because shotguns kick, and of course when you're holding it, you're going to be bringing it into the shoulder. So when you press that trigger, you're going to get some recoil into the shoulder. And I've done shotgun classes before where I forgot my recoil pad, and it was no fun. I looked like someone had beaten me up on my shoulder. So the recoil pad is a good $15 investment and will make training far more pleasurable, and you'll be able to focus on using this in a defensive scenario, or hunting as well. 20 gauge shells are plentiful. You can find them in most sporting goods stores, gun stores, and there's many varieties. There's buckshot, there is birdshot, there are slugs, there are rounds specifically made for self-defense by Hornady, by Winchester, all these different companies. And the thing too that I like about the self-defense shotgun is that this is something that most people can afford, okay? Because I know money's tight for a lot of people. This gun I bought for about $300 used. It had never been fired, and someone bought it in brand new. You know, a Remington 870 is going to go for somewhere around $500 to $600, but I bought it on the used market for about actually $300 exactly. Now, I can take you to pretty much my favorite gun shops in Wilmington, and I have 3 of them, and you can send me a question and I'll talk about them. And we can find a really great used shotgun for about $250 that can defend you and your family. If you needed to hunt with it or you wanted to hunt with it, you could do it. And so the shotgun is something that I think that from a financial perspective, very reasonable, no shortage of different types of shells, and also too, it's highly effective. In self-defense shootings inside of the home or by law enforcement or even military still use shotguns. It is a very effective way of stopping a threat when you have no other option. And inside of a home, I tell people this all the time, and you can agree or disagree because I've talked to people about this and we've looked at the science. Inside of a home, at that 20 to 25 feet, birdshot is highly effective, because it really doesn't have a chance to spread out, as if you were shooting a dove at 30 or 40 yards away. So that attacker that has broken into your house and you believe your life is in danger and you don't have any other options, those pellets don't have time to disperse, so they're going to get hit by basically a big old ball of metal at a higher rate of speed, and it's going to be very effective at stopping that threat when you have no other option. But what I tell people is this, that the problem with shotguns, just like the AR rifle, is that people think they know how to run this. And I've taught shotgun classes where I've had people that said they were avid hunters, and I've been using a pump shotgun for, since I was 12, and they're 50 years old. And what's really clear to me is that they understand how to load that first round, and they might understand how to chamber it, properly to some degree. But when there is an issue of reloading, they're not sure about that. They're not really understanding of the idea. If I'm going down a hallway, I don't necessarily need to bring it to my shoulder. I can go from here, pointing that muzzle at the attacker. That sometimes you can bring the shotgun up to move down a hallway or a doorway on your shoulder. So there are a lot of ways to manipulate it and reload it. Now, as a rule, and a lot of people say this is not anything new, you're going to defend yourself with what is in the shotgun and on it, meaning that sometimes people carry extra rounds on the back of the shotgun. So as a rule, if I was hunting with this, I've got to have a plug in here. So normally I'm limited to 3 rounds. This is my self-defense shotgun. I don't hunt anymore, just don't have the time. I hunted everything that moves, and I absolutely appreciate the importance of hunting. But in this case, I took the plug out so I can put at least 5 rounds in it to defend myself. So the thing when it comes to home defense is let's try to make sure that someone can't get inside, but if they do, you have some options for defending you and your family. You have a plan in place. So as I always tell people, know the laws of justified self-defense for the state that you reside, whatever firearm you choose, and in this case, I'm picking a shotgun. If I had one gun in the house, I'm gonna go with a shotgun. Doesn't mean you have to, but be professionally trained with whatever you choose. And give yourself options. Like I said, make it difficult for someone to get into your home. Have a non-lethal force option, have pepper spray or a stun gun or something like that. And if the situation is that level where you fear for your life and the lives of your family, well then defend yourself accordingly. But understand you will have to explain why you did what you did. This is Matt Rhodes in the city of Wilmington, North Carolina, New Hanover County. This is why I choose a shotgun over the AR rifle for home defense. Please like, share, subscribe. There is a subscribe button. Please hit it. It will help me get better content out to you. Be safe this day.